I was born to preach the gospel. I was born to preach the gospel. I was born to preach the gospel. And I sure do love my job. Yeah. I was born to preach the gospel. I was born to preach the gospel. I'm born to preach the gospel. And I sure do love my job. Yeah. Yes, I really love my job. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. Oh, I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. Yes, I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. Get firmly rooted. So let's get firmly rooted. Let's get firmly rooted. So let's get firmly rooted. Oh, I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. Let's get firmly rooted. Firmly rooted. Let's get firmly rooted. Yeshua, 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 Yeshua. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. We're disciples that make disciples that make disciples. We are disciples that make disciples that make disciples. We are disciples that make disciples that make disciples. Let's get firmly rooted. Firmly rooted.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday morning. Pastor Tom, Firmly Rooted Ministries, and we're strengthening our roots. We're looking at Matthew chapter 6. Working our way to the end of chapter 6, but we're still only at the midway point of this long sermon of Jesus, the Sermon on the Mount. Well, Bert Reggiani, I was going to say you and I are the only two here, but people are starting to pop on. Jackie Matus is on. Good morning from Nikki, Diane too. We're on the deck. You guys, you must have had a 2-hour flourish devotion because you guys are just like, you shouldn't all be together at one time. That's all I got to say. Ava Thompson, good morning. Good to have you. All right. If anybody else pops on, I'll acknowledge them at the end. We've said it before. We need to continue to say it, that you can't understand the Sermon on the Mount if you don't understand the perspective that Matthew and Jesus are trying to provide. Matthew is a Jew writing to Jews, and he is trying to tell them that Jesus is the Messiah, the promised King, the one who has come to be the King of all eternity, the one who was promised to David, the one who was promised to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That promised one is in Jesus. He's the one. And so now Jesus is speaking about his kingdom. The kingdom of God is at hand, and he's speaking about how things work according to his kingdom. And he says to us in Matthew chapter 6, verse 19, Do not store up for yourself treasures on earth where moth and rust destroy and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourself treasures in heaven where moth and rust do not destroy and where thieves do not break and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Externally, every one of us can understand and say, we can buy cars, homes, we can buy all of these things, treasure all these things in the kingdom of this world. We understand it. And rust will eventually get to the cars, and wear and tear will get to the houses, and ultimately it all fades and goes away. Jesus is telling us that we should treasure up things in heaven, where they don't get taken away, where they don't have rust and moth. What is he talking about? It's not as simple as saying, I got to take some of my money and give it to the church. There's my support, right? There it is. There it is. Even though that probably is part of it, because the church on your behalf does ministry that you're a part of. But let's get to the deeper side of this. He says at the end of this, for where your treasure is, your heart will be also. He's going to talk about the eye. The eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are good, your whole body is full of light. But if your eyes are bad, your whole body is full of darkness. If then the light within you is darkness, how great is that darkness? And we all say, what are you talking about? Jesus is saying, where your heart is, gnosko, the thing that makes you live every day, breathe every day, the reason for what you and I do, the purpose that drives us. If it is rooted in the kingdom of this world, it's an epic fail. But if it's rooted in the kingdom of God, it's an epic victory. What might it look like? It might be taking care of the poor, supporting agencies that reach out to widows and orphans. It might be taking in a foster kid. It might be realizing that the investment in love and in ministry to fellow human beings, imago Dei, individuals who are created in the image of God, might be of eternal consequence and eternal value, and more important than something in the kingdom of this world. This kingdom of this world is going to fail. It's going to fall. It's going to end. God has got a new kingdom. When I was hungry, you fed me. When I was naked, you clothed me. When I was in prison, you visited me. But in order to see all that, your eyes have to be lit. You have to have an internal light inside that allows your eyes to see from God's kingdom's perspective. If the inside is dark, then the eyes don't have a chance to see the way God sees. We don't have a chance. We are going to be rooted in the wrong kingdom. We're going to be living in the wrong kingdom. And the very next thing he says is, no one can serve two masters. Either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to the one and despise the others. You cannot serve both God and money. He means this world, the things of this world, because money buys the things of this world. The things of this world simply need to be resources that we are called to steward and to manage. They're not what we live for. We do not use it to invest in this world, in the things of this world. This world is going to end. We are called to be stewards of the things of this world so that we might service the work of the kingdom of God. So he uses storing up treasure, he uses light and darkness, and he uses the two kingdoms. You cannot serve two masters. In 3 sections, he's saying the same thing. You can't have one foot in one kingdom and one foot in the other and say, hey God, I'm doing the best I can. We are supposed to die to this kingdom, die to its authority, die to its power, die to its allurement, die to the accolades we might get because of the successes we get in the kingdom of this world, and we are called to take all of our resources and now look at using them for the kingdom of God, investing in something that's eternal, that we are rooted in God's love and in his eternal truth, which brings us into his kingdom. Now we figure out how to navigate, because now we have the light inside to allow us to see how to navigate in the kingdom of this world, how to talk in the kingdom of this world, how to respond in the kingdom of this world. Man, everything that he's saying is kingdom perspective. Jesus is not asking us to live in this kingdom and sprinkle a little Jesus in. He's asking for the whole takeover, that the seed falls to the ground and dies and then comes up as new. The old is gone and the new has come. We're dying to the roots of this world and we are rerouting our lives in his kingdom. And before I go on and preach more, I'll end there. All right, some other people did come on. Anne-Marie Johnson, good morning. My cousin Dave, good morning. Johanna, good morning. Everybody, blessings on your day. Make it a firmly rooted day, and may someone see Jesus in us today. Peace.